So I finished listening to The Will by Kirsten Ashley. In this book, Josephine or Josie has returned to Magdalene because her grandmother has passed away, and now she has to deal with her grandmother's estate, saying goodbye to her, all the things. And she is struggling with this because her grandmother is pretty much the only family member left in her life. She has had a very traumatic childhood. But she has been a big success. She is traveling the world with her photographer friend. She's like his personal assistant, but she's taking time off to take care of the house and everything. So she goes to the attorney's office for the reading of the will, where she meets Jake Spear. And in the will, her gran gives her to Jake, which I thought was a little weird. And also, like they say in the book that like you can't actually give a person in the will. But like that's a little weird. That is not the only weird thing that I thought of in this book. Jake is a single father. He has 3 kids, I think like 17, 16, and 8. I believe are the ages. Connor is the oldest. Amber is the second oldest, and she and Con are very similar, like a year or so apart in age-wise. And then they have a younger brother, Ethan, who is 8. So there is a big gap between them. Let me tell you, this book is very long. So the audio itself, when I looked at it, was I think 24 hours. And it's only 19 chapters with an epilogue, so that means each chapter was like an hour and a half long. And at some point, I started to listen to it at 1.2 speed, because 1.5 was just like too fast. It was very weird for me, but I was just like, I have to get through this. While I liked the book, I did feel like it dragged out. One of the authors I was talking to at the signing that I went to recently, she's like, and no shame to the authors who do this, but she's like, I'm just the kind of author who's like, cut to the chase. I don't need to have the conversation of them having breakfast at the table if it doesn't support and move the story forward. And I do feel in this book there was some of that, where it's like, was this situation really necessary? There were a lot of side stories happening, especially with kids, where it was like, is this really necessary to move the story of Josie and Jake along? Yes, Josie helps with the situation, so I understand from that aspect. But I don't feel like all of it was needed. Some of it I felt was added to add extra tension, extra drama, and if you like that, you'll enjoy that. For me, it just kind of slowed the story down. Also, you don't want to hear this because it's about like the ending. Scroll away. But the last chapter of the book was 2.5 hours long. And a lot happened in it. And I was like, again, was this all that's happening in this specific, very long chapter necessary? In my opinion, no. But that's just my opinion. Yeah. So some of the tropes you get single dad. They are older in life as well. What is it? Third act breakup. Slight miscommunication, if you count leaving things out as miscommunication. Yeah. So I personally don't think I'm going to be revisiting Magdalene. Oh, the other thing that kind of like drove me a little crazy is like every guy in her life was in love with her or like wanted to get her. Josie being the her. Like every guy she worked with and every guy she met, it felt like wanted to get with her, which good for her. But like again, was it something that was really necessary to move the story along? I don't know. Because there was also a whole side drama with her boss. So again, I think I'm good. I don't think I'm gonna be. There's two more in the series. I don't think I'm going to be revisiting Magdalene. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But if any of that sounded good to you, I suggest you check it out because everybody likes their own things. Magical reading.